I've seen a lot of bankers, and I've seen a lot of cops. I've seen a lot of lawyers pull out all the stops. I've seen a lot of children with their parents in their hands. I felt a lot of women who refuse to understand. And I don't think I understand why we're making such a fuss. And I don't think I understand what's come of all of us. And I don't think I understand why we take this world for granted. I just want to get right back to Guitar Players Planet. You see it in the papers, you read it every day. The riots and the fires going on in South LA. The muggers and the government, they're all wanting the same thing. They take all your money and whatever else you bring. And I don't think I understand why we're making such a fuss. And I don't think I understand what's come of all of us. And I don't think I understand why we take this world for granted. I just want to get right back to Guitar Players Planet. Take me.
As a boy, I had a dream. Carry it with me today. Yes, I do. hey, hey, hey. When the world stops spinning around, I'll be rocking. When the world stops spinning around, I'll be rocking.
Sunny skies, the smell of palm tree air. Looking back, I could never feel fair. The way the music has touched my soul, the way that the sound holds its control. But I've got a new way to choose. I'm gonna start running back to the land of new. Oh, na 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 na. That I have lost my friend. Got the sunset off the highway again. Then I get lost on a long summer day. I must go back before it's too late. You're afraid, you're feeling alone. Time and space can never unfold. The holidays can ring in your fear. The ghost embrace can only mean tears. And I've got a new way to choose. I'm gonna start running back to lands of new. Oh, na 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 na. Sitting at the lake, I'm feeling confused, but I had my guitar, so I played this blues. But I'm afraid, what might be true, that I might never be back again. Seems to me that I've lost my friend. Got the sunset off the highway again. Then I get lost on a long summer day. I must be back before it's too late. Before it's too
Someone to take me down at night. Someone to make my day. New elation fills my soul. Oh, I can waste away. You distracting my attention, you're all that's on my mind. You not looking for perfection, but you're too hard to find. Now the first night is coming, and I know what to do. You know that nothing feels sweeter than someone I need to taste your life again. I need a rendezvous. New revelation just feel my soul beginning and ends with you. Distracting my attention, you're all that's on my mind. You not looking for perfection, but you're too hard to find. Now the first night is coming, and I know what to do, yeah. You know that nothing feels sweeter than someone else, yeah. Now the first night is coming, and I know what to do, yeah. She knows that nothing feels sweeter than someone else. Yeah, alone and free, buddy, that I'm in love with you, yeah. You know that nothing feels sweeter than someone else. Yeah, 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 you. Oh, you. Yeah, you. Yeah, you. Oh, yeah. All right. Hey, yeah, yeah. Where did my color go? Got your head in the sand. You can't be in control using a powerful hand. I wanna be you, I wanna see you. Don't taste the kisses of hate. Don't try to tell me, don't try to tell me, don't try to say it's too late. You're gonna push me to the edge, back me in a corner, making me stand in your shoes. Push me to the edge, hot little color, it's black and white and blue. Black and white. Yeah, yeah. Cat learns to ring a bell. Rat gets free from the maze. We can be taught to love. We got to learn a new way. I wanna see, I wanna be, don't taste the kisses of hate. Don't try to tell me, don't try to sell me, don't try to say it's too late. You're gonna push me to the edge, back me in a corner, making me stand in your shoes. Push me to the edge, add a little color, it's black and white and blue. Black and white and blue. Yeah. I wanna be, I wanna see, don't taste the kisses of hate. Don't try to tell me, don't try to sell me, don't try to say it's too late. Push me to the edge, back me in a corner, making me stand in your shoes. Push me to the edge, add a little color, it's black and white and blue. Yeah, black and white and blue. You're gone black and white on the edge, back me in a corner, making me stand in your shoes. Push me to the edge, add a little color, it's black and white and blue. Black and white and blue.
Sunny skies, the smell of palm tree air. Looking back, I could never feel fair. The way the music has touched my soul, the way that the sound holds its control. But I've got a new way to choose. I'm gonna start running back to the lands of new. Oh, na 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 na. That I have lost my friend. Got the sunset off the highway again. Then I get lost on a long summer day. I must go back before it's too late. You're afraid, you're feeling alone. Time and space can never afford. The holidays can ring in your fear. The ghost embrace can only mean tears. And I've got a new way to choose. I'm gonna start running back for lands of blue. Oh, na 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 na. a lot of women refuse to understand. Well, I don't think I understand why we're making such a fuss. And I don't think I understand what's come of all of us. And I don't think I understand why we take this world for granted. I just want to get right back to Guitar Players Planet. You see it in the papers, you read it every day. The riots and the fires going on in South LA. The muggers and the government, they're all wanting the same thing. They take all your money and whatever else bring. Well, I don't think I understand why we're making such a fuss. And I don't think I understand what's come of all of us. And I don't think I understand why we take this world for granted. I just want to get right back to Guitar Players Planet.
How's it going, everybody? Oh man, I forgot to turn my lights on and everything. I got shadows going and everything. What's going on in this place? I've just been so crazy going on here. Let's see, where are the lights? There we go. We got lights, we got camera, we got action. How's it going, everybody? Welcome. Wait, this song is not called Topless Planets. It's Guitar Players Planet. If you want a copy of it, let me know. How's it going, everybody? I am flying solo, it looks like, tonight, at least for a little while. We're just hanging out tonight. We're going to be talking about, well, my presentation tonight is going to be basically some basic accessories for just getting started with an astrophotography rig. And it's a really important thing, and some little nubbins of knowledge in there. And good evening, Norm, Newman, Al, Josh, Dave. Who else did I? Eddie, my buddy Eddie. How you doing? I think I said Josh already. Who am I missing? Al, Rich, Dennis. How's it going, everybody? English Fires. Haven't seen you in a while, English. What's going on? But we're here tonight, and we're going to be talking about that. But the first thing before, again, we got to do it every time. You know, we got to talk about the people that give us all these wonderful giveaways. And tonight we are giving away, tonight is the giveaway for the LeNhance 2-inch version. Gonna look real fun. If you don't want the crazy calendar that they sent me, if you win and you're here, let me know, and I won't send the calendar. I'll just send the filter. Cheaper shipping anyway. So yeah, no, I know it's very, very late over there. It's probably about let's see, about 1 or 2 in the morning over there. You know, appreciate you coming by and stopping by. So awesome to see you. So tonight, let's take a look at the sponsors, because we got some new things going on. If you haven't checked out our Patreon site, I changed some of the tiers to make some of the perks a little bit better, and I changed some things. So if you're still a member of the YouTube subscription, please, if you can, feel free to cancel the YouTube subscription and move over to the Patreon account. And the links in the description below the YouTube stream, you go there and make a subscription, get some perks, t-shirts, polo shirts, and we have 2 new levels thanks to John Gambal. So we have Black Hole and we have a new Quasar level. $35 a month. Crazy, but you know, hey, you know, appreciate it. Absolutely. So when we also have a White Dwarf membership as well. So definitely go check it out. Feel free to transfer your subscription over to the Patreon and check it out. And plus, if you sign on to Patreon and become a member, you get to see my lovely music video that's only for Patreon members, because I can't put it on YouTube because I got slammed for copyright infringement. So we won't do any of that. So that being said, let's take a look at our sponsors. And thank you all to all of our sponsors and our spot. Yeah, absolutely. George. And George is a newest member of our Black Hole membership. So thank you, George. And thank you to our sponsors at the main sequence level. We have Woodland Hills Camera and Telescopes. And they gave us some money to give away, some presents to give away at the end of the year. So thank you to Woodland Hills. Prima Luce Lab was gracious enough to give us an eagle to give away. So thank you to Prima Luce Lab. Camera Concepts gives us gift certificates to give away. And Optolong, we have the giveaway tonight, the Optolong LeNhance 2-inch filter. So absolutely. So thank you to all of them. And if anybody's actually watching, that's a corporate watcher, feel free. If you want to hit us up and want to become a sponsor, just hit me up at dan@astroworldweb.com. And I am going to start hitting up some more sponsors. So see if we get some more sponsors out there. So at the super giant level, we have Masters of PixInsight and IP for AP. And Masters of PixInsight and IP for AP have been also super gracious to give us free workshops, free classes, free everything. And just so you know, right now they're getting ready. Masters of PixInsight are getting ready to relaunch their PixInsight for newbies. Okay, PixInsight for newbies coming up. Again, they revisit it every once in a while, and there is a 10% off. If I remember right, I'm gonna look it up again right now for the code for everybody, because he was gracious enough to give me a code. And 1 second, and it'll come up in a second. But Craig. I will put the code up as soon as I see it. He sent it to my Gmail. Sorry about the dead air, everybody. And I don't see it. Pete, if you're listening, send me that code again. That got dumped out of my email. But once I have it, I will get it to everybody as soon as possible. So thank you for Pete for the 10% discount. And that code is coming very soon. So thank you again to our member sponsors. And by himself is John Gambal, the Quasar member, the only Quasar member. So thank you to John. Our Black Hole members with our newest addition, George Lutch. So thank you to Bob, Charity, Sean, and George. And there's too many, but there's some things I need to say here. Dan K. Solo has done twice. He is a member twice, and now he's another two-timer on the list. So Dan Solo and Chris Fierkson, thank you so much. And then we got our main sequence members as well. And again, feel free to come join our Patreon membership. And our first White Dwarf member, Nigel Arnold. So thank you to Nigel. And our Protostar members that are on YouTube, Kieran and Greg. So thank you so much, everybody. Upcoming next in September, which is literally in a couple days. We're gonna have Nico Carver. Sorry, I spazzed out. Nico Carver coming up on September 16th from Nebula Photos Astrophotography. So that's gonna be really awesome to see. I'm super excited to see and meet Nico, who I have not met yet. So that's gonna be awesome. And then Astropalooza coming up in fourth quarter. It's going to be in November, and guests include so far Sean Nielsen, Amy Little, Molly Wakeling, and who did I miss? Nico Carver, of course. There we go. And don't forget to come check us out on all of our other social media platforms and Discord, Twitch, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and if you watch Vic D beat Teto, whatever, and you'll know what I'm saying, the Pony Express and all that. So thank you everybody for dealing with me with that. And we are back to me solo. So I'm gonna do something, and if you could just humor me for 1 second, because I'm gonna be doing everything on my own tonight, it seems. Howdy Senthil, Charity. I'll be in Hell's Kitchen, Manhattan in the week. What does it really take? 2.5. Yeah, it could take 2. It could take 2, but I'll tell you this. I'll make it easy for you. If you're gonna be in Manhattan, I live west of the store and east of Manhattan, but that will cut probably about an hour to an hour and a half off your drive to there. So if we get them in, because we are waiting for them, they are on order. If I have them, then I'll pick it up and you and I can meet somewhere west, like halfway, so you don't have to go all the way over there. How about that? So I'll be happy to do that for anybody that is a member from the city or a member from anywhere that's nearby that can't make it to Camera Concepts. I'll be happy to make the drop off or the dead drop to whoever does. So is this oh please, what is this? Is this serious? I don't even know if that's serious. We get some weird. Is it a good year for an Aquarius to find love? I don't know. I'm married. I'm still an Aquarius, and I already have it, so I'm good. So thank you. Hey, you know what, Norm? If I was going to Okie-Tex, I would. I'm not going to Okie-Tex this year. I just got too much stuff going on, and if I was, I would meet you in Okie-Tex. But I hope everybody loved the newsletter. That if you got it, and if you haven't gotten it, please send your email to me, and then we could definitely set you up for the guest. I'm sorry, the newsletter. And you know what? I just spoke to Sean Nielsen, and he let me know. Actually, not he let me know, but I asked him if he wanted to do and help us out on the show, and which he does. He's on all the time, and he's a really good friend of the show. But he is going to be doing now the whatchamacallit, the astrophotography picks that we've been doing for beginner, intermediate, and advanced. He's going to be doing that for the newsletter moving forward. So I think that's going to be a very cool addition, and so I don't have to do anything. Dave, come on the show. I'm flying solo. We can talk. We can have fun. I'm flying solo tonight, so I don't have a wingman. I don't know where everybody is. Well, I know where everybody is except for Eric. I hope everything's okay because he hasn't been available on any advice on cleaning filters. Yeah, absolutely. Very carefully. No, but if you sit there and you look at, I believe it's Astrodon's site, they give a nice video and explanation on how to clean filters. I like to use white gloves or plastic gloves, either one. If you can find some white gloves that are semi-lint free, that'd be great. I use the cotton ones. And so basically what you do is you could either get a nice cleaning solution, a non-fragrant kind of thing. And who sells? There's a ROR cleaning, which is a residual oil remover cleaning if you need to. And there are filter cleaning kits from Zeiss that will give you cleaning solutions and stuff like that. But just be careful with it. Make sure that I'll give you a list in the description below of what I use. Pec pads are a really good thing to get. Pec pads are, I think, 3-inch by 3-inch squares of lintless, scratchless, I guess wipes, but they're dry. And you lay your filter on the top of that. Put your cleaning solution on there, and then you're gonna pull the like other. I'm sorry, you're gonna put you don't spray on the filter, spray on the towel, and then drag the towel across the front of the filter. First things first, you might want to sit there and get like one of those hand blowers. And you're going to want to clean that. You want to blow anything that might be on there that can scratch the filter. No sandpaper. No, come on, Dave. Yeah, so if you know what would be really cool, go look on, excuse me a second. The dog came in. And yeah, that's where I'm going. That's exactly where I'm going, Dave. So we had David Geeson from Photonic Cleaning Technologies on, and he sells the red contact cleaning kit, and it's a polymer, and you put it on there and you pull it off. It's expensive, but it's good. It's real good. Check it out. We had a great show on it. Look at it on the YouTube page, on our YouTube page, and I have it on a playlist of shows with guests, and it's in there. And there's also in the blog on the website. David was very gracious enough to answer all the questions that went unanswered on the show, and gave me a Word file, and I posted everybody's answer for everybody's question on the blog, on the webpage. So go check it out. That was definitely a great show. He's a great guest, and he gave us a couple of hands-on demonstrations on mirrors, and it was really, 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 really good show. Really good show. Yeah, so lens pen, good. Yeah, thank you, Dave. Lens pens, absolutely. If you want to get little specks off, brush it off. You really don't want to flats will take out a lot. Flats will take out a lot, but you know what? Yeah, it works great on filters. You just got to be careful. I don't know if there's a gasket that they sell. So if you got mounted filters, I don't remember how small they go. If anyone remembers how small those gaskets go, so you can put it on the interior ring so none of the polymer gets stuck in the ring there, and then you literally just pull the polymer right off. So it's pretty cool. It went to 2 inches. Okay, so Dylan Bloodstone said it goes down to 2 inches. So if you have 1¼ inch, it's gonna be rough. So yeah, you just pull the gasket right up, and that's it. And they also come with these little pull tabs if you get the more expensive kit. It's got little pull tabs on it. It's really, really a cool thing, but it is expensive. But one kit would probably last a normal user a year, maybe longer, depending on how often you clean your filters. I would say it's longer. My kit is, and I'm pretty anal when it comes to my filters and my glass. I don't overdo it, but that kit with the 4 tubes, that kit has lasted me over 2 years now, and it's over $200. But Eric does have a kit too. I have a kit, and it's really, really, really great. So it works very, very well. So, and it's like spotless. Yeah, a few years. So Dave, again, so even though it's $200, if you get kits that are, spend $30 a year on kits and it lasts 7 years, you're good. So, but I don't know if it'll last 7 years, but at least 3 or 4. But it's really, really a good toolkit. So check it out. Um, Sure. Yeah, Dave. Using plastic Ziploc bags inside to kind of keep keep it away from the elements when it's not in use is definitely a good best practice. So that's really cool. So since I'm flying solo tonight, I'm going to be going over real quick, and I first of all I got to apologize to everybody that I may not be as attentive to the chat tonight as I usually am, but I'm going to give it a shot. So that being said, I am going to flip this on over, and I'm going to get my PowerPoint up, and of course it's gone. I thought I had it up already. Okay, I put this over here, and a 5 from beginning. And there we go. All right, so today, what I'm going to be talking about is so just some things you may need when putting your astrophotography rig together. Now, this is really basic, and I'm sure I'm going to miss some stuff. Or if I could talk about, I mean, you guys and girls out there that watch the show know about the Closet of Death. So I have plenty of accessories out there. So let's see. There's lots of accessories. Okay, so there are too many to go through, but they're accessories of necessity, and you know some are not needed, but you'll likely run into many of the accessories in this list, and I'm sure there'll be plenty that I don't go over, like I said before. So there's rings, there's dovetails, there's spacers, there's T-mounts, there's camera adapters. I could probably go on forever. Focusers, rotators, reducers, flatteners. Um, but let's start where Eric was supposed to start tonight with getting hooked up with stuff that you may have at home first. So let's talk a little bit about a DSLR. So, and if I could smooth the slide, there we go. Oh, really? I forgot about this. I can't do this all at once. Okay, so in order to connect your DSLR camera, you needed a bare minimum 2 things. Okay, a T-mount and a camera adapter. Okay, so on the top here, we have a T-mount for an unknown camera, maybe a Canon, I'm not sure. But these are camera specific. So you need to purchase the one for your specific camera, whether that be Canon, Nikon, Sony, any other manufacturer, it doesn't matter. You have to get this. This goes on your camera. This goes on your camera in place of the lens. Okay. So you take off the lens, you put this on. And then what you do is you're going to take this guy here. This is a camera adapter. And this part here screws on to the T ring or T mount, where in turn it turns into a 1 1/4 barrel, which can go into your focuser. Okay. So that allows you to, that T ring or T mount allows you to use a couple of different things. So let's talk a little bit about the camera adapter. So here's one by, I'm probably going to butcher it, but SV Boney. SV Boney and many other camera manufacturers out there make these. So you can get them pretty much anywhere. So as said before, here is your T-mount, and here is your camera adapter. This is basically just an extension tube. And, you may or may not need this. That's why most of them come apart like this. So you could actually take this 1 1/4 nose piece and slam it right on to the T-ring if that's got that M42 thread, not the M48, because they also come in different sizes as well as far as the thread here. So this allows you to, again, throw this right into your focuser. But if you cannot get in, if you're not close enough to to your image plane, you may just want to take this piece out and just go with the nose piece. It really depends on your camera, but usually most of the time, this will work just fine as is, all put together, because you still need a 55 millimeters from the DSLR frame to the chip. So you're going to need that. So next we have what's called, all this stuff here. Yeah, okay. Next we have eyepiece projection, which unfortunately I have never ever gotten to work very well. I found it very susceptible to tilt incorrect. Everything's incorrect. As far as the tilt of the eyepiece. So what the eyepiece protection does for you is that you can insert a 1 1/4 inch eyepiece inside the tube, tighten it up with one of these. I'm sorry, with this guy right here. And then what this does to me is, I think Eric's trying to come in, but what this does is it tightens up against the barrel. So in certain of the cheaper ones, this moves the eyepiece. So you're never really going to get exactly straight onto the chip, which can cause vignetting, or you may not even get an image. But you could do this. You could try it. If you have luck with it, let me know, because I would love to see some pictures, because I just gave up on it within like 3 nights. And then you got dovetails and rings. All right. So dovetails come in 2 widths. And the first one on the right side is going to be the Vixen side. And the second one is going to be the Losmandi, or V for Vixen, or D. And believe it or not, they call it a D because the shape of the bottom, it looks like a D if you put it on its side. I have a picture of it later. It kind of looks like a D. But that's a Losmandi D series. So those are the 2 series. So the Vixen's the thinner type, and it's used primarily for smaller telescopes on lighter weighted mounts. Like a Red Cat, or an 80, or maybe even a 100 or 102. After that, I would start using Losmandi size, because you're able to kind of spread out the weight a little bit more. A couple things that you're going to want to keep in mind is the number of millimeter of the ring. So the ring, I didn't put a picture of a ring on here. I know I did. Let's see, I'll go back a couple. And I know what everybody knows what a ring looks like, but for those that don't know so the rings are here. Okay, so this is so you'll see numbers 80 millimeter, 90 millimeter, whatever. And is Eric? Is that your mic?
Yeah. Get my what?
Your mic is like squeaking.
Is it super hot?
Yeah, it's squeaking bad.
Okay. Let me kill that.
So the interior diameter of this is that number. So it's either the exterior diameter of your tube that you're putting this on, or the interior diameter of the ring. So this is a 95 millimeter ring from the inside diameter. So just so you know, you really want to take very, very good measurements on it, because if you're too small, you might not be able to close it. If you're too big, then your scope's going to fall out the back. So you don't want to do any of that. So measure really well for the outside diameter, or just email your manufacturer of your scope to get the measurements of the tube. So that would be probably the safest way to do it. Or you could do some, do some kind of investigation and due diligence. Cloudy Nights and some of the forums may have that information, or websites as well. As far as dovetails are concerned, be longer than shorter. Dovetails come in a multitude of lengths. So if you have a long tube, you might want to go a little long so you can move the scope enough to properly weigh your rig in the saddle by moving it back and forth in the plate. And one thing to remember when you're doing screw holes and dovetails and rings, screw holes and rings where the holes are not all created equally. So mixing and matching the rings and the dovetails can be super frustrating. You might just want to sit there and say, hey, I'm going to buy my ring and my dovetail from the same manufacturer. It may help you be less frustrated, because I've gone through, just take a look at this example here. This is how the Prima Luce, the 350 dovetail is configured. Now, if you were to put, let's say, an ADM or an astrophysics ring system on there, you wouldn't be able to do it, because the ring holes do not match up to the holes in the dovetail. So you either need to get a machinist and punch a hole somewhere, or just buy the matching dovetail. And that matches your ring. It'd be a lot easier and a lot less frustrating. Next thing you want to think about is dew solutions. So refractors, reflectors to a lesser degree, Schmidt-Cassegrains are really, really the top offenders for dew. So there are a couple of things you can get. The one on the left is a relatively new product by Celestron, and that's the Celestron Dew Heater Ring. I have a video on it, and Scott at Astro Playground has a video on it on how to install it. So it's very easy install, and it's pretty. It's great for Schmidt-Cassegrains in the Celestron make. And then you got dew straps on the top right. Dew straps on the top right come in a multitude of different sizes, just like the Dew Heater Ring. And you can get them for eyepieces, 1.25-inch eyepieces, all the way up to, I think, 14-inch Schmidts. So, you can get them. Just remember, the bigger the dew strap, the more power it's going to create the heat. So just remember that. And then you need something to control the heat. There are a couple of things out there. On the bottom, I have pictured the Thousand Oaks 4-channel dew heater controller, which you could get. And this retails for about $120, but it controls 4 dew heaters, and it's got the cigarette lighter plug, so you can plug it right into your Celestron power tank or whatever power solution you may have. That would allow that. And it controls 4 of them, so you could just change the heat on every single one. So that's a really good idea to go through that. And definitely let's talk a little bit more about what we all love, extensions and spacers. And I'll jiggle them in a second. I got a whole bunch of them in my closet of death, and everyone's seen the picture, I think, that I put on YouTube. But extensions and spacers are going to be key as you move forward in this lovely lifestyle change we call astrophotography. You need to get certain back focus. You're too long, you're too short. And Dave, I could hear Dave snickering in the background. But you're gonna want to get a couple of different sizes. So you know what? I have pictured there the M48 version. There's a kit that you could get on Amazon for like $35. Those four, it's got like I think a 5, a 10, a 15, and a 20. And there are other ones in there. There's 3, 5, 8, and 10. There's all different configurations of the kits that you could get. And then if you need smaller adjustments of your length, like a millimeter, less than a millimeter, maybe 2 millimeters, up to 3, because up to under 3, it's really hard to machine a thread on a 2 millimeter spacer. So Blue Fireball from Agena sells these aluminum rings, and to me, I like the aluminum better. The 3D printed or the nylon ones, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I just don't trust them. They're just. I always think they're gonna squish on one side more than the other. So I'd rather the aluminum ones. This is if I remember right, this is a 0.3, 0.5, and 1.0 ring. There's a 3-ring set, and there's a 10-ring set that goes from 1 millimeter all the way down to a 1/10 of a millimeter. So you get 10 of them. So I would get a set. I would get a set of each, whatever it is: M42, M48, M54. A lot of home users probably aren't going to go over the size of M54. Unless you start going into like medium format frames, you're probably not going to go higher than that unless if you got this really sick camera. But I would get, if you have an M42 system and you're running you're running a 1-inch chip, then get the M42s. If you're doing APS-C, go to M48s. If you're going full frame, go to M54. But you want to get a set of everything. I got a set of M42, 48, and 54. So and the spacers to match, the aluminum spacers to match. So you want to make sure you got everything. And there's nothing worse that you're sitting there playing around with your scope and finding out you're off by like a couple of millimeters, and now you got to wait for Amazon or whatever else, or Gina Astro or somebody like myself to get it for you. So now, how do we power all this stuff? Okay, so next thing you want to kind of think about is USB power and USB and power solutions, because you know what? It makes it so much easier if you could just have a small little box and all your wires go up on the scope and everything held on a dovetail, and it's really nice, so nothing's dragging to the ground, across your lawn, into a computer. So Pegasus has a number of solutions, and I like them all. They range anywhere from 200 to like 650 for the ultimate on the right. But the first one is about $200. That's just USB, and it's a powered USB hub, and it's 3.1 now. It's 3.1 USB, and it's got a USB 3 out to your PC if you want to, which you want to, because you can control everything from your PC. So you can sit there and you got power on the top, and you got, I believe, on the other side a Ethernet port on the other side. I could be wrong, but I think that's an Ethernet port. In the middle, you have the PowerBox Advanced, and this is where you start getting some good stuff. It's powered as well, 12 volt. It will run 2 dew heaters for you, so you won't need that dew controller from the last slide. So run the 2 dew heaters, and it'll run 4 accessories. So all 12 volts. So if you got an EAF, if you got a rotator, if you got anything that requires 12 volt out, then your camera cooler, all that kind of stuff. And on the other side, you got 4 USB ports on the other side, all your 3.0, and that's it. So that's good. And then you got the ultimate on the right. It's got 4 outputs, 6 USB hubs, 3 dew heaters, and that's like $600. So They also come with a AC. They don't come with it, but you can purchase an AC adapter, which I believe Dave just got yesterday. But it's definitely a really good solution if you're looking for either a USB hub or something to start powering your system locally that you don't have AC power. Where'd my mouse go? And all my stuff. There we go. So how do we power all this stuff? Now I know I'm going off the rail here with some of these items. So you know what? The Celestron power tank will do really well for low power requirements. You got a 2.1 out on the left side. You got a cigarette out on the right side. Cigarette on the side on the right pushes 10 amp. The little guy on the left pushes 5 amps. So if you're running something very simple, you can use this. It's got some USB charging ports on the top, but that's all there is to it. So you may want to go something like the other two. Sorry, I'm talking too much and I need some water. The first one on the bottom is the River Pro by EcoFlow. It's real decent. I forget the exact stats, but you know, it goes anywhere from $200 to about $600. And then you got the Yeti stuff, which is the creme de la creme. So those range anywhere from like 500 to start to, you know, up to, you know, it depends on if you want to wheel it around with you. You can power your house with it. So you can power all that stuff. And if you're in the field, like in Cherry Springs, you're going to need something. If you don't have access to AC, you're going to need something to power your rig with. EcoFlow is a little bit more portable, and Yeti is more of a tank to me. So I have the Yeti. I love it, and I'll never go back though. So. And all right, what time we got? Oh, it's 8:45. That's about right. All right. So in conclusion, um, when you're buying accessories, think about your end game before you buy. You want to get a piece of paper, make a diagram, make a drawing of all the pieces that you might need. Talk to people, talk to friends if you're unsure. Talk to us on the show. But think about your end game. What's your final solution? How many accessories are you going to have? What are you going to need to purchase? That's the first thing that I would do. The next thing, do yourself a favor. Buy dovetails and rings from the same manufacturer. Trust me on this. You will have less gray hair. You'll save some hair locks. You know, trust me. You know, you sometimes you just never going to find the right screw, but you know, whatever the case may be, and enjoy the lifestyle change, because that's what it is. It's a lifestyle, and you know, that's what it is. And we're up at night, and we kind of up during the day and sleep in the middle. So that's all I have for that end slideshow. So I hope that was somewhat informative for everybody. And Eric, you're really squeaking again, bro.
Am I squeaking again?
Oh, it's bad.
What in the world? Okay. Well, I will just move over to this. Hold on. Let's see. How's that?
Ooh. Worse.
Worse?
Now nothing.
Any better?
I have you now.
Okay, cool. Man, so sorry. I was working on my man. It's been such a hectic week, and I get home, I'm exhausted, and then I was working on. So I've been trying to find time in between to work on this presentation, and I just got so caught up, trying to put the finishing touches on this thing. And then Robin, she messages me. She says, "You know what time it is?" And I'm like, "No, honey, I'm what? Because I'm trying to get this thing done." And she's like, it's already 7:30." And I was like, "What time?" And she was like, "What time does the show start?" 7. Crap. So sorry, man. It's my bad. So hey, everybody.
So yeah, I saw the holy crap text message while I was in the middle of my presentation.
Yeah. So my apologies, man.
No problem. All right, so let's see. Then some may wonder if you need 55 millimeters of back focus. Can you just add more to cover the distance? Yeah, absolutely. You could. Yeah, just by using those adapters and spacers and extension tubes that I showed in the prior screen. Yeah, you could absolutely do that. If you're using a ZWO camera, they have a nice little website that says the best back focus, and it covers pretty much, I believe, all their accessories for either cooled cameras or uncooled cameras.
Yep,
And
it does. It's nice.
Yeah, it's a really nice. They probably do. I hate to say it, but they probably do the best job in describing back focus and how to reach the proper back focus for each individual camera in all the websites of all the manufacturers that I've seen.
Yeah.
It's right there on a PDF, and it's there.
It's right there.
You have a filter wheel? Nice. This is what you do. And you know what? We gave you the spacers to do it.
Do it.
That's the even best part of it, because the spacers are in the box, So,
but to your point, some of those, the spacers that they have are great, but even if, but sometimes, they have the thin paper or thin plastic ones that come in the box as well. The 1 millimeter, half millimeter, what have you. Yeah, get rid of them and go ahead and get, go to Gina or something, get a Blue Fire or what have you. Get those aluminum spacers, stuff like that. Don't bother with the others, with those paper ones.
Yeah, either the paper, 3D printed, nylon, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Stay away. Just stay away. Those colored ones, stay away.
Yeah.
They look nice and it makes your telescope pretty, but you know what? It may not be effective.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah. I don't know. Somebody was just saying that the ZW site was down.
Yeah, they said I saw that.
I actually just went to it and just got on it. So it's up. And going to their cooled camera section, and there it is. So yeah, no, it's up. I'm getting to it. So
1 and 2.
Yep. Yeah, so maybe it was down for a while, and now they finally figured out what's going on. So
yep.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Get those metal spaces. Get them.
Yeah. So grab those metal spacers. Go, Gina, Astro, the Blue Fires and stuff. So absolutely.
Yeah, the Blue Fireballs. Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah. They do really good. They do really good job with that. So that'd be nice. They do a really good job with all their adapters and everything.
Yep. So those are really, really good. All right. So I don't know if we want to do my presentation now. Or we want to wait till next week. I don't know if the time frame.
Oh no, we've only been on for an hour, so we could do yours.
Okay,
yeah.
we can do. Okay, so
absolutely.
Let's go ahead.
Can't put it off 2 weeks, Eric. You got to give me time to eat. I didn't even have time to eat dinner.
There you go.
I got my dinner right here. See? I was expecting you to go first, so I was like, oh man.
Let me fire this up here.
Yeah, absolutely.
And So
Chef Boy, no, it's not. It's not Chef Boyardee, Dave. This is not. I don't even know what. I don't even know what that is anymore. I can't even. But you know what? It's color coded reflective tape. Yeah, you can put that on your brake lights. Yeah, there you go.
okay.
As long as it's good. So let me
So
make Eric a little bigger here. Hold on a second.
yeah.
Where is Eric? I don't see Eric. Where are you? Oh, because I'm on. There we
You
go.
don't
I gotcha.
you don't see me?
I see pink. No,
Okay.
there we go, and you're good to go.
All right, cool. So hey everybody, happy Friday. I wanted to since this is beginner Friday, I wanted to touch base on something that I thought would maybe a good topic. And that would be getting started into astrophotography with it should say with items you may already have. So I know this is a little wordy, but as far as the introduction goes, everybody when we get into this hobby, we all start somewhere. The beginning, different. They can be different venues or how we get there. But when we start getting here into astrophotography, we start to realize how expensive this hobby is, to get started in. And it really doesn't need to be, not necessarily, because there have been some astro imagers that have been very successful just using using photography equipment they already own, such as Nico Carver. Is a very good from Nebula Photos, very good example. Um, and so they've been really good at using the equipment they already have, and that equipment initially may have been just intended for one purpose, but suddenly they may not have realized at the time when they bought that equipment, um, by simply turning it to the night sky, what other wonders they could have access to. Or perhaps you were like me in somewhat of a way, starting out with visual astronomy, getting a telescope as a gift. That's how I got started in this. My wife got me my 8SC, um, and I was unaware of what I could really see initially beyond just that 25 millimeter eyepiece that comes with the kit, right? Or maybe you might be one of those people that admire seeing photos from astrophotographers that post them online and social media, and you wish you could take similar images. But you may um, have little or no budget because you've heard how expensive this hobby is, but you may not realize that you can do so much of what other people post. You can do it yourself just by what you have in your hand, that phone you have in your hand. So what I'm going to talk about is just a few topics that I hope will give people who may currently own that telescope for visual, that DSLR camera you've been using, for the family photos, or that smartphone that you've been using to keep track of, your daily life and listening to music and everything else. But you've had that interest in astrophotography. Hopefully this will be some information that you can use to get started in this hobby. So so let's go, so let's go ahead and let's talk about getting started. And this is one of my photos here of the Milky Way, and this was using a DSLR. So some of my notes from my astrophotography 101 class, the AP class of Eric. So many astrophotography can be a progressive step for visual astronomers, for amateur visual astronomers. Um, and as I mentioned, astrophotography can be much more expensive compared to visual astronomy. Um, but there are options that can control cost if you decide to get started into astrophotography. And we've talked about this all the time. Astrophotography is a rabbit hole. So before making that huge dive on this side of the astronomy hobby, it may be a good idea to start leveraging what you already have. So if you're coming from terrestrial photography, maybe utilizing those skills that you've learned, they can help in astro imaging. But also, we talk about this quite often. When in doubt, don't be afraid to ask questions and take notes, because there's a lot of things, even more than what I can even cover in this, that you will end up absorbing. Um, Key thing, as always, is to be patient and develop those good habits, developing a workflow and a good routine. And most importantly is, this is a hobby, so you want to have fun with it. You don't want this to be work. You want it to be fun. So, using what you already have. Get a camera, stop pointing it at the kid and start pointing up. If you've got that telescope as a gift, or you were in visual astronomy, so you got this telescope to see the sky, but also, hey, I've got this camera too that I use for pointing at that kid, or taking vacation photos or what have you. But then you're like, wait, what can I can do what with them together? And also, you know you got a smartphone, so of course, you do. I mean, of course you do. Who doesn't? So let's talk a little bit about what we can do with these. So, using a DSLR, lenses, and a tripod. Now, when you have just that camera and a tripod, there's certain things, you may, what you may want to expect to happen, and certain things you um, don't don't expect certain things to happen. Expect certain things to happen, and there are a few things you should know. First, if you have just that tripod and camera, expect to take, most likely taking short exposures. Um, and somewhat very short exposures. Expect, with a tripod and camera, you most definitely have the ability to do Milky Way imaging. With those short exposures, you're going to have to accept the fact that you may end up integrating a lot of light frames, if you're targeting a deep sky object. And also with a lot of the cameras, DSLR cameras that are out there, you're going to end up having noisy images. There's going to be thermal noise and read noise. There's going to be a lot of things so that's why it's important. We always talk about those calibration frames, but it's just inherent with DSLR cameras. They're going to, the sensors, they're going to be noisy. Don't expect auto guiding. You don't have a tracker. You don't have a tracking mount. So don't expect it. You're going to have to get used to, if you're doing certain shots, you're focusing on a particular target, you're going to have to probably recenter every 10, 15 seconds or so, to keep your target in that shot, or in that field of view that you want. A couple things you should know, of course, if you have a DSLR, you bought that DSLR for a reason, either to take those family photos or what have you, or to take birding shots. It's probably a good idea to get off auto and start learning your camera's capabilities and learning those settings for manual, AV, and other settings. One thing when it comes to astrophotography, shoot in RAW mode. You shoot in RAW mode and or in large JPEG. Large JPEG is basically your previews, but you're going to be processing when you're in your post processing. You're going to be post processing those raw images. So shoot in RAW. Remember to get as much data as possible, because you are going to be, if you want to have a lot of detail, you're going to be taking a lot of exposures. Another thing I would say, and this is of course one of those dumb moments, but some people may not realize this, especially if they're getting started. Avoid light pollution. We talk about it understand what light pollution is, understand your border sky, understand where you are, and start thinking about going somewhere else, if you really want to take advantage of that night sky and getting started with astro imaging. Another thing you'd want to do is, of course, is learn this rule. And this rule has been changing so many times. They call it either the 400 rule, the 500 rule, or the 600 rule. And basically, what that is that you would take your camera lens. All right, say if you're doing the 500 rule, and you are using a 20 millimeter lens. What you would do is this would help you understand or get a roundabout figure of your exposure time. So you would divide that 500 by your and this is based off of a full frame lens, full frame camera. You would divide that by your lens. So if it's 500 and you have a 20 millimeter lens or something like that, so you would end up with like what force? I think that's what 5 seconds or something like that. So you would have so you would have to image, or those shots you would take would be very short, 5 seconds, and or it's 600 or what have you. I mean, they keep changing this number in this rule all the time. So definitely learn that rule, because it does, the main goal of that is to try to stay within a certain exposure length so you don't start to have star trails. That's the main reason. That's the main goal of using the 4, 5, or 600 rule, is to avoid having those star trails. You go over that specific time, you're going to start trailing. So just be aware of that. What you also should know, of course, you should know learn the night sky, and also learning the best times to image, understanding the moon phases, understanding, where you are in the, where you are as far as maybe GPS location, maybe if you're in the northern hemisphere, the southern hemisphere, maybe if it's winter time, knowing, hey, in the winter, I'm going to be seeing Orion. But if it's during the summer, I'm not. So, no, understand that. Also, know that those stock DSLRs, when you buy your DSLR, they come with IR filters. They include a filter for infrared, and that will affect um, your deep sky imaging. So we talk about modifying, modifying your DSLR camera to remove that filter, so you could be able to get more of the light spectrum, so you can pick up more of the hydrogen and everything. So just be aware, if you are using that stock unmodified DSLR because you're using it for family photos and everything else, remember that can affect your image. Also, what I would also recommend and consider getting are what we call clip-in filters, or for hydrogen and light pollution. So we'll talk about that here. So yeah, so things you should have when you're getting started, of course, is your DSLR or maybe even your mirrorless camera. You want to definitely have a sturdy tripod. You want to have it has to be level. It has to be able to accommodate the weight of your lens, your cameras, everything you're putting onto it. So be aware of that. And you already have, stock lenses. If you buy, say, a Canon kit, it's going to usually come with a couple different lenses. And those lenses, you can actually use those within with astrophotography. You can use um, that 18 to 35. You can use that 70 to 300 lens. It's just you need to understand that they could be a little bit slower because of their f ratio. They could be an f5 or an f4, so they're not going to be as fast. So just be aware of that. But you can actually use them. You're going to need an intervalometer. And what an intervalometer is, it is a small handheld device that you will connect to your camera to manage your exposure time. So you can set your exposure times, set up everything you would do to within the menu of your camera as far as setting your exposure time, the spacing between exposures. You can do that with an intervalometer, and you want to do that because you don't want to touch the camera. You don't want to interfere with the camera when it's taking these your photos. You don't want it shaking or anything like that. That's why you purchase an intervalometer. You can get intervalometers from Amazon, really, really, really low cost. Um, if you are going to get a little bit further into deep sky imaging, and not as much as just um, maybe comet catching or Milky Way, consider maybe getting a camera mount that is a star tracker, like the Move Shoot Move is one that I have. You have the Ioptron Sky Guider Pro, others like that. So if you want to do something like taking longer exposures, consider getting that sky tracking camera mount. They're not compared to other mounts you purchase. They're very relatively inexpensive. They're probably less than $500. As I mentioned earlier, you'd probably want to consider purchasing or looking into those clip-in, light pollution, broadband, or narrowband filters. Um, when I got started with this, I did purchase those clip-in filters. They're very easy to simply install onto your camera, on right over your camera sensor. And if you're going to do narrowband imaging, you probably might consider the higher net. The higher nanometer or higher band pass, which maybe like a 12 nanometer wouldn't be a bad one. You may also want to consider versus your stock lenses. Maybe you might want to invest and consider getting those lower focal ratio lenses, the f1.8s to f4s. You have lots of different ones out there. Some of the common ones that I would recommend would be take a look at getting a 24 millimeter. That is a very good wide field of view, very good for Milky Way. You There is the Nifty 50, which can use, which is also very good for astrophotography, and the 135. It's a very, very good. The Rokinon or Samyang 135 millimeter is a very, very good astrophotography camera lens, and it's a full frame. And a lot of these you will want them. You want manual focus, and if they are autofocus or anything like that, or if they risk, if they're manual, of slipping a little bit in focus, one thing you can also, I would say, recommend doing is maybe get a piece of tape to tape the focus ring to make sure it doesn't move, so you can try to keep as steady focus as possible. But also be aware that since you may not have autofocusers, you are going to have to every once in a while come back and check your focus, maybe every hour or 2 hours. Consider purchasing or getting some of these phone apps. Photo Pills is a great app to use, especially if you're doing Milky Way. And then also consider apps such as Sky Safari or other types of planetarium software. And I would strongly consider, especially if you're in light polluted areas, um, how to find a dark site. You will gather much more data, and your images will be so much better by simply maybe going out, a few miles away from home to a dark site that where you could probably end up with, maybe if you're at a Bortle 8 or a Bortle 7, maybe you can find a Bortle 4 or 5 site. Maybe if you go a little further, maybe you can find a Bortle 2, and consider, those dark sites, and so finding those dark sites and packing up that DSLR and that tripod and those lenses and taking them out there, because you will, absolutely benefit from that dark site. Now, next one we're going to talk about is, you've got that DSLR. And like me, I had a DSLR, but I also got a telescope all of a sudden. So we'll talk a little bit about the merging of these two. Now, if you're a visual astronomer and you're ready to try astrophotography, um, and maybe you're starting out with a Dob because that's what you have, or a Schmidt Cassegrain. We'll talk a little bit about that. Or maybe you're a beginning astronomer, astro imager rather, with that DSLR lens, and a star tracker, but now you're ready to take that next step. All right. So what does that mean? That means trading the camera lens for aperture. When you have a camera lens, and it's basically based off of focal length. When you have a telescope, it's really the size is based off of aperture. So expect you to be able to probably take more deep sky objects, when you're stepping into the telescope and DSLR realm. You're going to probably have the ability to track and possibly auto guide with long exposures, for those longer exposures. I've said that twice there, but also know, if you are imaging with an alt-az mount, you're going to be limited. I know when I first started with my 8SC that has an alt-az mount, because of the curvature of the Earth, you're only limited to probably maximum 30 seconds. But don't expect to do any tracking necessarily if you have a Dob. And don't expect great long exposures if you have a Schmidt, especially on, like I said, on alt-az, because one, they're slower, even with reducers. So you're gonna need to have those long exposure times, which doesn't equal out to dealing with the curvature. So we always talk about, with the Schmidt Cassegrain or these longer or higher focal length telescopes, you're going to have to image much longer than just 30 seconds to really probably get anything worth getting with a Schmidt Cassegrain, and even with those reducers. So because you really need those longer exposure times, so you might want to consider getting a wedge. And a wedge is a replacement for your base of your alt-az mount that you can utilize, and to be able to handle the curvature of the Earth, almost like an EQ mount. It's not quite, but it can help. Some things you maybe want to consider if you are going to step into from a camera lens into a telescope. Definitely consider getting the smaller, faster apochromatic refractors. They have wide field, but they're also much more forgiving, and you do not have to worry about collimation like you would with a reflector like a Dob or a Schmidt Cassegrain. One thing also you're going to need is you're going to need a T-ring. Because when you connect that T-ring to your DSLR and then to your telescope, you will now be at that 55 mm back focus. If you're going to go ahead and move into the telescope, you might want to consider looking into that EQ, that low entry EQ mount at the very least. You can definitely still utilize your star trackers if they can handle that weight. such as the Sky Adventurer or Star Adventurer Pro. They can handle the weight of those smaller Apple refractors, such as the Red Cat, but just know that you might want to start thinking about that if you're moving into this step. Also, you're going to need to most likely have a laptop or some acquisition software or some sort of a tool, such as the ASI Air, to acquire your images, or you're going to need to use something like APT or Nina. When I first got started and I moved into astrophotography, I purchased Backyard EOS, but that's good for Canon, or they have the version for Nikon, Nikon, Backyard Nikon. Okay, so now we're going to step into using your smartphone. And I was really impressed about this one. So it was kind of funny that I thought about this. Is this really why Samsung named the Galaxy? Was because of AP? Probably not, but I thought it was cute. So in with this, you don't always need an expensive camera and lenses to take incredible images of the night sky. You really don't. Because several of today's, the latest smartphones are engineered with camera sensors that produce less noise. They have fast lenses, and you can create images you can be really proud of to post on Instagram. And if you want to take a photo of the moon with that smartphone, if you have a telescope or binoculars, get a phone adapter. You can add a phone adapter, and taking that type of photography is called afocal photography. When you are utilizing your smartphone, check the camera settings of that smartphone. And you can, because there are certain settings with these smartphones now that you can be able to do Milky Way shots. This image right here is not the greatest image, but this is a demonstration of doing a Milky Way shot from utilizing my iPhone 12 down at the bottom left-hand corner there. So Apple or Android, it probably really doesn't matter. But if you're interested in using your smartphone for astrophotography, there are going to be some things to know and some things to consider. While most of or many of the smartphones on the market can be used for low light photography, they can't correct hand shakiness. So get a tripod. So you can even purchase the small tabletop ones and get a smartphone adapter, and they will work for just what you need and to be on a steady surface. Okay. Another thing, just like we were talking about with a DSLR and the tripod, keep away from the camera. Step away from the phone. Look for purchasing a Bluetooth camera control, or you can even use the phone's virtual assistant, either Siri or OK Google, and you can actually tell it to take those photos for you remotely. And you can also, if you go into the settings of your camera of your smartphone and go to the camera, you can also set timers, sometimes 2 second or even 10-second timers. Now, many smartphones, they can perform in what's called night mode, which allows you to control the ISO and shutter speed just like a DSLR manually. So a couple of apps you would want to check out. For iOS, check out Camera Plus, and for Android, check out Camera FV5. So one thing to also know is that some of the more expensive flagship smartphones, they actually come with cameras with larger sensors, and you can have the ability to save your files just like in RAW with a DSLR. You can save them in what's called a DNG, because those files are uncompressed, unlike a JPEG file, which is. Also consider different types. There are inexpensive photography apps that you can purchase, such as Nightcap, which is for iOS, Procam X, which is for Android, as well as planning apps like I mentioned before, Photo Pills and Sky Safari. They should be highly considered. So, in a nutshell and in summary, getting into astrophotography doesn't mean you need to drop a bag of cash in front of your favorite astronomy store. You certainly don't need the latest, greatest dedicated deep sky camera, and you don't really need to get the top rated EQ mount. Um, if you want to enjoy the night sky, sometimes all you need is what you have. Um, so once you know how to use what you have, just go out there, get out there, find that dark site, like I mentioned, and just drink and have fun. So that's all I got. So thanks, Dan. So appreciate it. And I'm going to get on that and stop sharing here.
You can do it.
I can do it.
There we go.
All right.
Nice.
Cool.
Really good
Cool.
presentation, man. Nice job.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Yeah, so that's not so bad. You know, it's not so bad doing these things.
No, it's
Yeah.
not. And it's good, especially for people just getting started. As I said, you don't need to spend a whole bunch of cash, man. You don't.
You don't.
If you've got that DSLR, you've got that's half the battle right there. Just know how to use it.
Yep, and
And
stop pointing it at the kid, right?
Stop pointing it at the kid. Point it up. Stop pointing at the kid. The kids are cute, but they need to go to bed.
Kids are cute for a time.
Yeah, definitely.
Anyway, yeah. So I'm just looking through the website while I was, and you know what the best thing is now. I don't know if all of you have noticed, my drinking habits on the show, and I haven't been drinking on the show in like 3 weeks. Been drinking, water.
What? You've been drinking water?
Water.
Not whiskey?
Until tonight. My diet finally allows me to drink a little bit of wine. So I drink it just a little bit, just a little taste. So I'm down 13 pounds in 16 days.
Nice. Congrats, man.
Yeah. So I'm finally under 190 again. Nice.
Okay. So. Nice. I'll probably have to end up setting a goal like that.
Yeah, my goal,
at some point.
In 3 pounds, I'll be the lightest I've been since June 2020.
Wow, congrats, man.
So for some reason,
That's
I've
awesome.
been tracking it since 2018 in my stupid phone. But yeah, so it's really, really good to do these things, and I'm glad that we all got back together and back to basics and doing stuff, just trying to and what I get just as much out of it myself than and it makes me and reinforces my learning and remembrance, because if I'm getting old, if I don't take that Prevagen every week or so, I start
get
to
that
lose
jellyfish oil.
Yeah, got to get that jellyfish oil, and it's it really it helps, like, me remember, because I have to converse with people on a weekly basis in the store about this stuff, and some of the stuff that I come across, say, damn, I forgot about that, and and it just reinforces everything that I everything I forgot pretty much. But
same here, because it reminded me also about smartphone photography. I thought that was really cool, and also reinforced and reminded me, if you do like astrophotography or you love looking at the night sky, you got a smartphone.
Yeah.
You can actually use your smartphone to do a lot of this stuff. They create, they have adapters if you have a telescope, or even binoculars. If you've got binoculars, you have the XYZ adapter, the 3-axis adapter, or you can buy an inexpensive smartphone adapter, and you can utilize it to take, to take images, to take night sky images,
Yeah.
and you don't have to necessarily break the bank.
No, not at all.
And that's one of the things that I know we talk about mounts, and we talk about telescopes and all these other things and these cameras, and that could shun or scare off certain, I wouldn't say shun, but scare off people that are just getting started,
Yeah.
because they don't have a huge amount of cash. I didn't, and I still don't. But um, but they don't have that kind of money to just spend on this hobby. But it's okay, because if you've got certain things already at hand because you're using them for something else, you'd be surprised what you can do if you're somewhat serious about wanting to get into the hobby. And then you can slowly, graduate towards other things. Just, when your budget allows, time, you just take your time.
Yeah, I mean, it's really a journey, and it's really like, I know too many people that, you know spend mega amounts of cash on really good astrophotography rigs, and we're talking five or more figures, and they get to it and they put it all together, and they don't take the time to learn it. They just expect it to work,
To work.
and it doesn't. It doesn't even just work with experienced people. you know, there-
It's not like as soon as you spend this money, you put these things together. It's not like on demand. Okay, work. I want to see. I want to see Andromeda,
you
or
want
I
you
want to
want something like that.
see. Yeah,
Get the Stellina and have a night, and that's
and
it.
have a night.
That's it. Done.
Yeah,
But don't spend $15,000 on a setup if you're not going to learn about your setup and the things that need to. It's a whole bunch of spokes in the wheel, and one of those spokes fall out. You got to know what to do. You got to
hmm
check your guiding, check for cable snags, know the difference between an RA and a deck error,
yes,
all that kind of stuff. It comes with experience and doing it just like anything else. But to
thing
Eric's
else.
point, listen, you don't have to spend 15 grand to screw things up. You could spend one and screw things up because you could spend less. The DSLR and a tracker, man, you're pointed in the south and you think you're polar aligned. No, it's not going to work, but
No,
you got to learn the routine of doing it. Everything has a routine. Everything has a system that makes things work, and you just have to learn and educate. And yeah, Dave,
yep,
practice, practice, practice,
it's
man. That's what it
practice.
is.
That's all. That's all it is. That's exactly it. And anything worth doing well is worth doing.
Yeah.
If you want to do it well, you know, hey, you got to go for it. You got to take the time to learn. You say it at the end of every show. Keep educating. You know,
Yep. Keep
that's it. If
educating.
that's the key.
I,
That's the key. That's the key.
that's a big thing. E- a lot of education has followed me through my life, as in my professional life. That that's what I do. I do a lot of training, and when I was a training manager,
hmm
they always wanted us to do what's called a mission statement, and an anagram that would kind of show what you stand for, I guess. And I was a golfer, so I came up
hmm
with TEE. And I was in McDonald's, so I put a little M on a golf ball and whatever. And T is train, educate, and empower. So,
Power.
and that's what it was. So it's like, okay, you train yourself how to do stuff, and now you trust yourself to do it, so you're empowered to do it. So it's just this whole thing that, and same thing with Astroworld. Keep imaging, keep educating, and that's what it's all about. Because the people in the chat are educating us just as much as we're educating them. So I mean,
Yeah. There was a question here, not necessarily a question. Scott posted, I'm looking for a pair of binos for when I get to Banff. Not
yep,
sure what to get. 15
15
by
by
I have them
70s,
70. 15 by
70s,
70s. 15 by
nice,
70s. I've got a pair.
perfect weight. They're not heavy. You get 15 magnification on it. You got a decent aperture. And 15 by 70s, I agree with you, Eric. That's the way to go. I mean, because
That's the way to go.
any bigger is too heavy. You start needing a tripod. Any smaller, you're like, 10 by 50s, you're like, you know.
Yeah. And even consider 15 by 70s, holding them up for a while, it's gonna work, it's gonna wear on you,
Yep.
holding it up for an extended period. So consider getting what they call a monopod.
Yep.
And which is just basically like a tripod, but it's a single stick.
Yep.
And then you get the binocular adapter, hook it up there, and just do that, and that eases up on your arms and your shoulders of holding those binoculars up. And they're not that expensive. Just get a nice carbon fiber set, and hey, if you're not using them for your binos, use them if you're hiking. Use them for a walking stick.
Yep. There you go.
So
And you know what? I know what
dual purpose.
a lot of people when they're doing bino viewing, the one mistake that I see quite often is that when people hold the binos to their face, the hands are usually very close to the eyeballs. They're like this.
Yeah, they're right on top.
They're right on top of you, like your nose. And that is like the worst thing you could do for stabilization because
I learned that.
yeah,
I learned that the hard. Yeah.
you want to take the eyepieces and lay them kind of in your eye socket and let it lean on the bone. And then move your hands as far up front of the binos that you can and aim at the front because now you got stabilization in the eye socket. You got stabilization at the front. So it'll be a lot more easier to control. You're back here doing this. You're lucky you can see Jupiter. You're going to be all over the place.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. So, yeah, but 15 by 70 millimeters are the ones you want.
Yeah, and Dave made a good point. The parallelogram mount, which is a really, really cool thing. And if you get the more expensive parallelogram mount, the binos stay at the same angle as you move it up or down. So if you have a shorter person that wants to see what you're looking at, all you gotta do is pull it down, and the binos will go up, and the parallelogram will go down. And
nice.
Now you got it for the kids.
There you go.
And it's weighted at the front too. So if you got a really heavy pair of binos, like the crazy, what is it, 25 by 100s by Celestron, it's got a nice little 5-pound weight at the end, so you can move it up and down, and the zero gravity.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely a zero gravity chair. I've got one and I love it.
I don't have a zero gravity chair. My mother-in-law bought a beanbag, like big like thing that's got a mattress inside it or something.
Okay.
It is the most uncomfortable piece of garbage that I've ever seen in my life. It's sitting in the middle of her living room in DC, and it's so bad. It was like $400 this thing. And you sit in it, and it's like, I can't sit in it because my neck's gonna break because I got to lean forward. So it's horrible. But I think again is the 15 by 70 Celestrons are good. The pros are better. So if you get the pros, they're better. The Skymaster regulars, they're hit and miss. I've had a lot come back. So either collimation issues or reflection issues. A lot of it was collimation issues where people were seeing like double vision. and it wasn't just like interpupillary distance.
If
It
you're
wasn't.
very,
It wasn't that because I closed them in, and no, it's Celestron.
Celestron from Pro.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so they're a little bit more expensive, but it's well worth it. Celestron Pro Rhino. Yeah, the Skymaster Pro.
Yep.
That's it. So you get the Skymaster Pro. They got a 20 by 80, a 15 by 7. Well, that's Skymaster regular. So get the 20 by 80 Skymaster Pro if you want. That might be a little bit too big. The Skymaster.
Yeah, the 15 by 70 is not that bad. I mean, it's a couple $100 for you can get it on Amazon for a couple $100.
Well, the 15 by 70, the regular Celestron is like $80.
Yeah, so
but
so you're spending you're going to spend over double, but it's worth it.
And if you could get like a Fujinon or something like that, those are nice. Let's see, what was the other one? There's another one, 15 by 70. Oh shoot, I forget the name of the company. I'm gonna see if I can look it up. ED Glass.
Yeah, but I've got I've just got a pair of Skymasters, and you're right. I purchased mine just for when I was going camping and stuff to have fun with the kids.
Yep.
But it definitely has a collimation issue. There, you definitely get some double vision. So, but I think I got them for $70-$80 at the time. Yeah, so they were fine.
If you get the weight, if you could handle the weight of the 20 by 80 Pro, I would go up to that. Now, and that's just from Celestron. I mean, so it's 5 pounds. So it's a little bit on the heavy side. The 15 by 70, I think it's like 3.9 if I remember right. 15 by 70. The $84 one. Let's see. So
interesting. The 2080 is on sale right now on Amazon.
It's 3.28 pounds. So it's only about a pound and a half heavier, the 20 by 80. But you get the better coatings too. But it's also $70 more.
Yeah. Because right now what for the 20 by 80 Pro?
20 by 80. Yep.
Pro, it's 150.
It's Skymaster Pro, yeah. 20 by 80. 151.
Interesting. 151. Okay. So I'm looking at the wrong site then. So where are these from? CCTS?
No, I was looking on Amazon.
Oh, really? Okay.
I'm sorry. No, the Skymaster Pro. I'm sorry, 244. My bad.
Yeah, 244. That's what I was like. Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, because retail, like if you get it from HPS or any place like that,
it's
like 320.
Yeah, so
you can save a little bit of money if you go that route.
And you.
Al's like, spin the wheel.
Oh, geez, you guys. So it is 9:40 already, but
yeah,
we can do that. We can spin the wheel. You want to spin the wheel? We can spin the wheel.
Go for it, man. Spin the wheel, man.
Let's see. Let's spin the wheel. So we're going to be doing. It's the LeNhance tonight. So.
Oh, fun.
Yep. Yeah. So I got it right here. Here's the LeNhance. It's right here. Unopened, untouched by human hands, except for the box. And if you don't want the calendar, let me know. If you're in the chat and you win, and if you don't want the calendar, that's fine. Leave it to me, and I'll send it to some newbie that gets a shirt, like I've been doing the filter wrenches. So if you want to do that, that's fine. But if you want the calendar, I'll be more than happy to send it as well. So Optolong, here we go. Welcome to AstroWorld. And there we go. I put it up. Hold on. There we go.
Andre,
Vanderhoven. I don't know that name.
congratulations.
Andre. Well, congratulations, Andre.
Yeah.
You have won the Optolong. I'll send you an email and we'll send that out to you. Michael Overacker just missed it on one side, and Peter, I don't know, on the other side.
Peter.
So Andre Vanderhoven. All right, cool. Congratulations, Andre.
Yeah, because how many were in there? 117 entries?
That was quite a bit. Yeah, 117.
Yeah,
Yep.
117. Wow, quite a bit.
117. It's growing huge, man.
Yep.
Whoops.
Let me see. Are we?
And we got a lot of other stuff too. We got picture of the week and picture of the month.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I was gonna ask. Yeah, don't we have picture of the week today?
So we do. So let's do the picture of the week. I know, Dave, you lost again. I know. And Scott lost too. So poor Scott missed it by like one name last month. And let's see. So let me get to the AstroWorld site. All right. And we'll go to the YLP poll.
Excuse me.
Okay, so live site, and let's move it on over. So for those of you that don't know, we do have a website, and here it is. And welcome to AstroWorld. So if you ever want to submit a picture of the week, you can submit it right here by clicking picture of the week, and then going down and clicking here and dropping it in the Google Drive.
Yep.
So this picture of the week, we have Crescent by Bob MX Quattro. We have NGC 7822 by Dave. We have Dark Shark, Carol. And we got, this was Hogarth's Elephant Trunk Nebula.
Okay.
Right? So we'll do image of the week, ends the 26th. And look at the amount of votes.
Wow, 123.
So
that's
a record.
Awesome. That is awesome.
That's a record. And you know what? I believe that 90% of them are legit because I've been watching the IP addresses. I'm gonna have to start. I'm gonna have to start tracking by cookie, everybody. So I'm gonna start tracking by cookie as well. So just to make sure that all the votes are legit. So now that the voting is working correctly, I think we could limit one vote to everybody. But here we go. So the results are in at 123 votes, and the winner is Bob MX Quattro. With let's see, what was this? This was the Crescent, I believe.
The Crescent.
With 62 of the 123 votes, followed up by Dave Schaefer with 55. So really close there. I gotta say though, did you guys that voted, did you guys even scroll to the bottom? Because Hogarth's picture was pretty good, and he only got one vote. So I don't know. It looks kind of weird, but I don't expect that. So but Bob, congratulations. You are the picture of the week winner for this week. So congratulations. So you'll be in whatchamacallit, in the running for picture of the month for August. Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. The last entry for the month of August.
Absolutely. And then we
Time flies, man. We're moving into September.
I'm telling you, this makes no sense. So now we got picture of the month.
All right.
Picture of the month. We got George's Bubble Nebula. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That's this month running. Sorry. And I got to go back to all polls. because I had to take down July because July was here. So we only got 48 votes for the picture of the month. But the first one was
Looks like Roe.
Joshua Kovacs Rowe. Yep.
Okay.
And then we got, I believe I remember this one. This is Ernie's NGC 7000.
Yep.
And then we got Wade Prunty's Eagle.
Okay.
All right.
So just the three.
Just the three. Remember, we had the first week off. So
yeah, that's right. You had the first week off. Yep.
So picture of the month for July, and at 48 votes, the winner is M16, the Eagle number by Wade Prunty, with 41 out of 48 votes. So
congratulations.
85% of the vote. Wade, you won. I was going to tell you earlier. I know you texted me, but yeah, your picture of the month, and you'll have the August picture of the month in the calendar upcoming for 2023. So
congratulations.
absolutely, that is awesome.
Yeah.
I love doing picture of the week and picture month.
Yeah. You know what we ought to do also? I don't know if that's on AstroWorld'sWeb.com, a spot for because we have the spot where you can drop in for the picture of the week, but do we have something for critiquing? You know, a spot that we can drop for simply go there to critique.
Yeah, so you drop them right in the critique folder. Right as you get to the Google Drive folder, you'll see a folder for critique, and you could drop them in there. And people have been dropping them in there. So, and if you can't find that folder, feel free to just put in the title, put critique and your name, and that's it.
All right.
So yeah, we could do that. And don't forget, we got coming up, I still haven't received an entry yet. We haven't received an entry for the most creatively messed up astrophoto yet. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. So I believe we have a date for that. I think it's in September, or no, it might be October. But it's gonna be soon. So make sure that you drop in your messed up astrophotos. Scott C's got to go back to work. But yeah. So what else we got? Let me bring this up really quick because I haven't brought it up in a while, and I'm gonna share my picture. Andre Vanderhove. I gotta remember that. Open one donation. Okay. And I'm gonna share this real quick. Okay. So in case any of you guys have forgotten about the club donation that we want to give, we are giving away a check for a $100 donation for a local member astronomy club. So we have right now, we only have 7 clubs. Now I know there's more than 7 clubs out there that could definitely benefit from this, that people watch the show. So if you are in a club and you want your club to be eligible, email me your club name and I will put it on the wheel. I cannot hold this wheel for much longer. The money's going to go and it's going to disappear and it's just going to go bye-bye. So I want to do this at the end of September. So the last Friday in September, we're going to give away the $100 check to a local astronomy club. So that will be the last Friday in September. Is what date is that? August, September. Oh, September 30th, end of the month. So September 30th, we're going to be doing the wheel for that. So make sure you enter your club via email to dan@astroworldweb.com so we could get this out of here so I could not spend it on t-shirts or something.
Yeah.
Because I gotta say, I told you we got another oh, you missed it. We got a couple new Patreon members, and I changed some of the Patreon tiers because one of our Patreons is over the $25 a month, so I wanted to make a next tier up.
Sure.
So I made a $35 a month tier with one member right now, but
Okay.
but there's
Thank
one.
you.
But
Thank
we
you to that member.
also picked up another $25 a month black hole member. So
Awesome.
yeah. So and we also picked up a couple of one more dual membership from
Okay.
somebody else that is now 2 Patreon subscriptions. so Chris
Wow.
Frickson is not the only one anymore.
Wow. Well, thank you guys. We really appreciate that. We really
And I
appreciate the
appreciate because
support.
you pay for all the shipping that I just had to put out. So
There you go.
and all this stuff goes back to the clubs. I mean, this goes right into the AstroWorld. I literally have an AstroWorld bank account now that it just the cards up there. I can see it here. It says AW on it, and I just dump everything in there. And hopefully we get. And you know what? I'm going to throw this out to the club. When we started out with that telescope live, right?
Yes, I was just about to bring that up.
Okay, so I became a member. What was that? 2 years ago? I've racked up like I don't even know how many credits at $19 a month. So right now I have. I'll tell you right now. Telescope live. Right now I have personally. Let's see, Daniel, 230 credits on my own.
Wow.
Right now. Now, I'm willing to take all that the 230 credits and throw it into the next picture contest.
There you go. But
So,
that, you know what though? That is because it depends, but it also depends on because it's not a credit does not equate an hour because it also
does not.
depends on
We need
it
about
also depends on
another
the scope.
300 credits to kind of get some real data.
Yeah, because you need to take into account the telescope you want to use and the target and the time of the day or the time of the month that you want to do this. So
However,
if
you're doing narrowband, right? And you're
different.
doing it to 3/4 moon or worse, they drop the price quite a bit. They drop the credits quite a bit. So some nights you could even get free. You know, so
yeah,
that being
if you go
said,
full bore, full 100% illuminated moon.
yeah, 2 degrees away from the moon. Whatever I'm going to image, whatever it is that's 2 degrees away from the full moon. That's it. That's all I want. But I want it for free.
But I want it for free. That's all I want. I just want it for free. Let it be known right there. I want it for free.
So we're gonna work this the same way that we worked it before. You know, we do have a PayPal account. We could do PayPal at AstroWorldWeb.com, and whoever wants to donate towards the credit of whatever it is, we could just do that. And whoever wants, and you know what? I think we've waited too long, and I got to find out if it's up. But I think we should get the Fighting Dragons of Ara in there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We have to find out when they're back. We had to find out when we can get them and when the right season is.
I think it's like February. I think it's like a winter month, if I remember right, because we were doing we had to do we were going to do the Fighting Dragons, and we found out it was too late by the time we were ready to get started, and we did the Tarantula in like the fall because because the dragons weren't up yet, and they were coming up next. But so I'll look at the I'll look at the Chile scope and see when it comes up. But I think I think that's the way to go. I'm willing to take that 230 credits and throw it in the pot, but we need more people to donate to it. So we need at least double that to get some decent data.
Holy cow, Dave! Thank you, man. That's nuts.
What did I miss?
You rock, man.
Oh man,
Check it out.
thanks, Dave. Now is that Wade? Yes, you won, Wade. You won.
Wade, yes. You won, man.
It was a landslide, Wade. 41 out of the 55 votes. But Dave, just for is that for AstroWorld or is that towards the picture? So just so I know, because I don't know when
But
you
still,
did that.
but
Either way,
but
just let me know.
Wade's in one of my favorites. In one of my favorite cities in the country.
Where is Wade right now?
So he's in Nashville. He's in Tennessee.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Hey, Pep, come here, boy. Pepper, come here. You want to go out? He doesn't want to be with me anymore. He wants to go out. Okay.
He says that's for AstroWorld, and
okay.
and even Al says he has several months of credits at iTelescope he can throw in. You know what? If there are people that are subscribers to iTelescope, let us know, and we can probably collaborate on something as far as data, and we can share. We share that cost or what have you. You put in your credits or what have you. We can all spend that time towards that target. Yeah, I don't think that'd be a bad idea.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we need to go. We need to go after the dragon, man.
Yeah, we got to get the dragon. Show enough.
Got to get
show enough.
Yes. Because winter is coming. Winter is coming. We need the dragon.
Did that start yet? Did it start?
Yeah, it did. Yeah,
it did.
Yeah, it started last week. Yeah, it started last week.
So yeah, I just finished Discovery season 4, so I just wanted to finish that first. But
okay, well now you're done with that. Now you can.
I wait.
Dragon.
I wait. I wait because I don't want to like.
Rings of Power coming?
September 2nd.
Okay.
September 2nd, and you know what? The most important thing. The most important thing. Yesterday, Lower Decks season 3 has come out. That is just hilarious. It's hilarious. Let me tell you that's if you like Star Trek, you'll get all the jokes. But you know what? If you don't like Star Trek, you're gonna think it's horrible. It's really on. What the Lower Decks?
Yeah,
all
Dave,
what's that? Oh,
I don't know. The Rings is on Amazon. Yes,
Rings is on Amazon.
Lower Decks is on Paramount, right?
Lower Decks is Paramount, and what was the other one we were talking about?
Yeah, and House of Dragons.
House of Dragons is HBO Max.
Is HBO Max.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Beavis and Butthead is on Netflix. So just so we know. Just so we know.
Awesome.
It is the first episode of the new Beavis and Butthead. I almost lost it. I lost it. They locked themselves in a bathroom. Man. I mean, how dumb can you be? They think it's an escape room. Anyway. Oh my goodness. Yeah, so congratulations to the winners, Wade, and who won Picture of the Week again? It was No, it's not remade. It's a new series, John. It's brand new. Mike Judge came back and brought them back from the dead.
Brought the whole back.
So, so congratulations to all the winners. It's it's 10 o'clock already anyway. So
yep, and it's a new moon, and I've got a clear night.
At least you do.
I want to try to get some LRGB.
Good luck
on this. On something. I want to try to get some LRGB on something with the with this FLT 91.
Thank you. Thank you, George, for sending in your club. Thank you, George.
Appreciate it.
John, no, I did not. You and I got to talk because I got to get you something different. I was thinking about getting you a hoodie or something because you're now a Quasar level. So if you want a shirt, I just have the shirts that say I have ones that are regular like this, or I have the ones that say Red Giant sponsor. If you want that, I just don't have one that says Quasar yet because you're the only one.
Gotcha.
But it's up to you.
But all right.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
Sorry.
No problem. Anyway,
I'm gonna, like I said, I'm ready. Because I got LRGB. I've got a dark
absolutely
night.
Go image. I'm gonna go watch TV.
I've got a Bortle 5-6.
Hey, it's better than my Bortle 8-9. So I mean, But anyway, everybody have a good night.
Dave is still waiting for your filter wrench. Dave is still waiting for his filter wrench.
Dave, when I go down to DC next, I'll give you a filter wrench. I'll give you a wrench, Dave. I'll give you a monkey wrench, all right?
Oh, boy. Too funny.
All right, everybody. Again, I hope you enjoyed tonight's presentations, Eric's and myself. If you have any ideas for any future presentations, please let us know. And not for nothing, if you want to make a presentation yourselves, let me know. I'd be happy to throw you on the show. I have a guest pass on this program, and I could get you on here. So feel free to make a presentation. Also, Astropalooza is coming up. It's going to be probably the weekend before Thanksgiving. Okay. So that being said, if any members want to make a recorded or live presentation to fill up some time on Astropalooza, let me know. I think we already got one person already from the group that wanted to do a presentation. Please let me know how long you need and what you're going to be presenting, and if it's going to be recorded or live, and we could throw you on the show. I still have some feelers out to some people, some other astrophotographers out there, other than the 4 that I've been mentioning every week. Still waiting on some answers, but hopefully we can fill it up. I want to get a blockbuster kind of guest going. I don't know who that might be. I'm trying a couple of things, but see what we can do. But if you want to be involved, let me know, and we'll get you on the show, because it's going to be, I'm planning on about a 3 to 4 hour show. That's what I'm planning on. So
okay, it should be fun
cool.
then.
Yeah, it's going to be cool. So that's all I got. So congratulations to the winners. Eric, you got anything final to say before you go imaging, or just go bye-bye?
No, I just want to go bye-bye. No, but seriously. Again, thank you everybody for your support. Really, really appreciate it. Dave, again, thank you for that generous donation.
Huge.
Thank you. That was huge. And thank you guys for supporting the channel and what we've been trying to accomplish over these past couple years.
Yeah.
And we can't do it without you guys. So thank you guys all for the support. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Second, but it's amazing. It's amazing that we had 35 people watching tonight, and it was just the 2 of us.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
And again, I'll hold up. I'll get that. Sorry. I will say again, to reiterate what Dan was saying. If you guys have any ideas or any thoughts of subject matter, anything, especially when it comes to, our Friday, newbie shows, and information when we want to get out to the people who may be interested in astrophotography but just don't know how to get started, or maybe a little bit overwhelmed on some stuff. If you have any thoughts of subject matter, please send them across to our email addresses, Dan at AstroWorldWeb.com, Eric at AstroWorldWeb.com. We'd be more than happy to look at those and take a look at your ideas. So we would appreciate it.
Absolutely.
That's
and Josh, you're in. I knew it was you. On data organization, you're on. Just tell me how much time you need, and I'll slot you in. So, all right, everybody, have a good night. Thank you for watching again, as usual. Thank you for the patience and the time, and it's been awesome. So thank you so much. So everybody, have a good night, and as always, remember to keep imaging, keep educating, and clear skies. And we'll see you Wednesday night. Have a good night, everybody.
See everybody.
Bye-bye.
Have a great weekend.